We've all been there. You're teaching a class, you've designed a PowerPoint presentation, and while you're lecturing with the slides behind you, you're wondering, what are my students actually learning? The picture before you illustrates this scene. Notice the different websites and content students have on their laptops, the multiple speakers on stage, and the 5 screens surrounding the room. This is an example of information overload. Split attention is a continuing problem that we as educators sometimes impose on our students. Therefore, how do we fix this information overload so that students are actually processing the information being presented to them? How do we make the presentation appealing, not just visually, but auditorily as well? We know that students feel ignored in lecture halls when the instructor is focusing on the presentation and not paying attention to the class. Students' comments reveal that instructors too often focus on the technical aspects of the presentation rather than on the information being presented. In a study done by Al-Shar and Hindi in 2004 on the importance of presentation skills in the classroom, both students and teachers responded that well-organized presentation and enjoyable content were the two most important measures of presentation effectiveness. Now, let's talk about 5 distinct strategies to consider for this issue. Number 1, limit the amount of text on slides. Sometimes we tend to think that more information is better, and as a consequence, we can be constantly racing against the clock to make sure all of the materials are covered adequately. Students often get overwhelmed trying to keep up with the information being presented, as opposed to comprehending key points and connecting meaningfully to the content. Number 2, use multi-channel visuals. This is an image of a brain with 2 pathways leading from the viewer to the brain. One side is a verbal path and the other is a visual path. This illustrates the importance of using multi-channel visuals because this can promote and reinforce information processing. You will also notice us using this strategy throughout the presentation. Number 3, monitor the time spent on a topic, slide, or activity. Another quick fix is to use a personal timer on your computer or watch to monitor the actual time spent on a topic, slide, or activity. A good rule of thumb is to lecture for a maximum of 15 minutes and then allow a break, an activity, or time for questions. Number 4, use physical reminders to pause and reflect. It can be difficult to remember to create breaks in your lecture. Having physical reminders to pause can be useful too, such as sticky notes, or why don't we take a moment right now and think about what is the most effective strategy for you? During that pause in a lecture, encouraging written self-reflection about the content being presented, for example, with a structured note-taking chart like is presented in this image, or silent reflection is a good way to get students thinking about their responses to the material. Number 5, use clickers. If you want to vary instructional strategies during lecture breaks, using clickers is another option. This allows teachers to analyze student responses to questions during class. These are just a few quick solutions to a very persistent problem that we sometimes face. Trying even just one of these strategies could improve the quality of instruction and presentation of material.